Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. We're just working on the Chinese quad bike today. It's got a bit of a loose chain, it's making a clunky sound. I've had a problem with the chain tensioners for a while on this. You can see I've got a stack of washers piled up on there where the thread is chewed right out. So I bought a couple of new ones of those. I just found them online. Nothing fancy. I was going to make one, but I thought, how much are they? And they're like $5 each or something. So I just bought a couple. Let's get about putting them on. I've just got it up on a block of wood just so the wheels are off the ground, and I'll need a 13mm spanner and a 19mm spanner, and let's get those off there. There's 2 bolts, one up there, or 4 bolts, 2 at the top. You loosen those, and there's 2 more down at the bottom on the left and the right there. We take both of those right out, and that should free it up. Let's do that then. Hello Yana, you come to see me. Not. Hello Yana.
No battery.
Yeah, good girl. Mustn't have charged up last night. Off you go. Once you got that loose, this bit should swing back and forward. It's not stuck. I think I'll take those bolts right out. I think previously I've used a socket. I'll go and get a 19mm socket. You guys wait there. Yeah, I told you I'd be right back. Just need a painted piece of wood, one way or the other. I'll just take those bolts right out of there. Now you can see this one. You can see this one, the threads are worn right off about halfway up, and I just packed it out to the end of the bolt, but it's not very effective, and time to get rid of them. Looks like I've got the right ones. It's really hard buying parts for this thing online. It's just Chinese quad bike. Luckily, they all copy each other. So this should swing now. I don't know why it doesn't. Maybe this confuses me every time. It's not that bit that swings, it's the axle itself. See if I can do this without pinching my fingers. Of course you can't see anything. Getting towards the end of it, stroke backwards. That should move. There we go. I think it's just tight. I'll just stick a bit of inox on it. Alrighty, you can see which way it moves now. To push it back, you can wedge it this way, like that. And to pull it the other way, you can wedge it this way, and it wedges back. So that's how it's supposed to move. This piece doesn't actually move, that's the fixed part. So with it all the way tight, that way when we do these things up, we'll be pulling the axle back towards these brackets. And the main thing you need to do is keep it even so you don't pull the axle crooked, because that'll mean this sprocket doesn't point towards the front sprocket, and that's when the chain will try and climb off. So let's get those back on again. Just make sure you get the offset around the right way. He says, almost doing it wrong. Can't get the thread started. And I can't see in there. Let's try it without that in there for a sec. I'll bring you back once I've got those started. Okay. The answer was to pop the chain off, bring the travel all the way back and just lean on it a bit and lift it up. So let's see if I can get the other side. Yeah, that one's easy. Alright, so we'll stretch that back the other way. Like that. Maybe these holes need a bit more play in them. We'll pop the chain back on before I forget. Tighten up a little bit. Now the trick is going to be, that's pretty tight there, getting this sprocket to point directly at the one down the front. I'll just sight down there. You guys can have a look. It's a bit hard to tell. That gives you an idea what you're going for. If they're not square, the chain will try and climb off the front sprocket. If we look down that way, we can see that bracket should be pretty much square and maintain square against the axle. So as I tighten them up, I'll be keeping my eye on that. But I don't need to add much tension to it. Really, these nuts don't hold it tight. They're just to adjust the tension, and when I tighten up those 4 larger bolts, they're the ones that hold it tight. I think that's how somebody stripped it off in the past. They used those threads to hold it tight all the time. There were nylock nuts on here before. The nylon was all worn out, so they weren't going to really work. If I was keen, Oh, alright, I am keen. They can have one washer. Drop test. That's the drop test. Where'd you go? I think that's tight enough. I don't need to do it any tighter than that. So I'll just lock these together just need another spanner to hold that together. But we'll do the bottom ones up first. Sounds good to me. I'll just get a little spanner and tighten those up. The only other thing I noticed is these wheels aren't very tight on the axle shaft. I'll see if I can get those pinned into the next hole. We can call this bonus footage. That rubber thing just comes off. If I can get this nut one tighter, that should take that wobble out. Don't suppose it's going to be the same size spanner, is it? No, that'd be too easy. I shall return. Close enough. 24. It's got the wobble out. See if I can get that back in. There we go. Now I can just bend one up. There we go. I'll do the same thing on the other side. You don't need to watch me do it again. Alright guys, I reckon we can call that fixed. Not very exciting video this time, but if you're mucking around with one of these bikes and want to know how that was done and how you get around some of those problems, now you know. Next up I'm going to be replacing the front wheel bearings, but I'm going to make that into another video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I can't really see you.